الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن والاه. We continue in Thalathat-ul-Usul wa Adillatuha, and we first covered the introductory letter, which told us that we had to know four issues. And those four issues were Ma'rifatullah, Ma'rifatul Rasul, Ma'rifatul Deen, Amalu bi, and acting upon them, knowing Allah, and knowing the religion, and knowing the Prophet, and acting on that knowledge, wa da'watu ilay, and calling to it, wa sabr al adha fi, and patience upon the harm that you incur during it. And then the second risala, which was that we should know three issues. The first of them is that Allah created us and provided for us and didn't leave us without purpose. Rather, He sent a messenger to us. He didn't leave us alone, not knowing what our purpose was. He sent a messenger to us. And the second principle was that we should, that Allah is not pleased that anyone associate partners with Him. And the third one, the third principle is the one who follows the messenger and worships Allah alone, then it's not permissible for him to take the kuffar as protectors besides Allah. And then the actual risala of Thalathat-ul-Usul begins, where he explains al-Hanifiyya, similar or exactly the way he begins in Qawaid al-Arba'. And then he talks about the greatest thing that he commanded, which is Tawheed, and the greatest thing which he prohibited, which is Shirk. And we got to this point where he says, فَإِذَا قِيلَ لَكَ مَا الْأُصُولُ الثَّلَاثَةُ الَّتِي يَجِبُ عَلَى الْإِنسَانِ مَعْرِفَتُهَا قُلْ مَعْرِفَةُ الْعَبْدِ رَبَّهُ وَدِينَهُ وَنَبِيَّهُ مُحَمَّدًا صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمَ. So he says, فَإِذَا قِيلَ لَكَ, so if قِيلَ says it is said, قَالَ is he said. Here we know who said it. He said it. And he can point to someone, we know who that is, right? Qila is passive. This one is active. In Arabic we say ma'ruf. Ma'ruf, meaning known, or we know who the qa'il or the fa'il is, the one who did it is. This one here is passive, and we say in Arabic majhul, meaning unknown, meaning we don't know who said it, but we know what was said. So for instance, if we said qala, he said what? We don't understand, right? But if we say qila, then qila means it was said, right? It was said, which means we know who said it, but we don't know who he is. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So we don't know who said it, but we know what was said. It's the opposite of the active, and this is called majhul. So فَإِذَا قِيلَ لَكَ, so if it was said لَكَ, to you, if it was said to you.
Okay, hold up. You said ma'ruf.
No.
Is that the same word right here?
Where?
Ma'rifa? Yeah.
Yes, it's from the same word. It's not the same word, but it's from the same word, yes.
Okay.
Arifa is to be aware, or like knowledge, to have knowledge or awareness of something. Ma'ruf means you know what it is. It's from the same root.
Okay.
فَإِذَا قِيلَ لَكَ. So if it's said to you, we don't know who said it, it's anyone said it to you. قِيلَ, that's why it's passive. ما الأصول الثلاثة التي يجب على الإنسان معرفتها. ما here is a question word. What الأصول الثلاثة. What are the three principles? الأصول, the plural of أصل. الأصل, the principle, the pillar, right? The foundation. It's translated is different ways. The foundations, the fundamentals, the principles, all of that. ما الأصول الثلاثة, the three principles, the three foundations, the three fundamentals. التي, which. التي is the feminine of الذي, which. This is masculine. التي is feminine. التي يجب, يجب from وجب يجب, meaning obligatory. على الإنسان, upon mankind, إنسان. معرفتها, to have knowledge of them, to be aware of them. What are they? What are those three? ما أصول الثلاثة. What are those three principles? التي يجب على الإنسان, that are obligatory upon mankind. معرفتها, knowledge of them, meaning knowledge of them is obligatory. فقول, then say. قul is a command. It's a fi'l amr. قul. How do we reach that? We have the word tajlis. And I keep going back to this just because it's easy and it's three strong letters. Tajlisu. I want to tell someone to sit, I'll drop my ta and I'll just have my middle form there. The jalasa, I got my same vowels except the end I make it a sukoon. I can't start with a sukoon on this jeem, so I add a alif, ijlis. So I have the word taqulu. You say taqulu. So then I drop my ta and I say same thing, qul, but I put a sukoon on the lam instead of the dhamma. Now I have two second letters next to each other, and I can't have that, so I drop the weak one, which is the waw, and I have qul, and there's no need to put an alif here because the first letter is vowelized. It has a dhamma on it, unlike in the jeem here where it has a sukoon. So there's no need for me to add the alif because I already have a vowel on the first letter. So I say qul. So faqul, then say ma'rifatul abdi rabbahu wa dinahu wa nabiyyahu Muhammadin sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Ma'rifa, which is the same as we said, knowledge of the slave. Ma'rifatul abdi, mudaf ilay. Ma'rifatul abdi, the knowledge of the slave, of the worshipper, of the servant, right? Rabbahu, meaning he should have knowledge. The slave should have knowledge, but here it says the knowledge of the slave of his Lord. Rabbahu, he should have knowledge of what? Of his Lord. Maf'ulun bihi, mansub. The slave should have knowledge of what? Of his Rabb. Mansub, maf'ulun bihi. Wa dinahu, maf'ulun bihi, mansub. Wa nabiyyahu, maf'ulun bihi, mansub. And his prophet, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Any questions about this?
Yeah.
إذن اقرأ لنا يا عبد الله.
فإذا قيل لك ما الأصول الثلاثة التي يجب على الإنسان معرفتها فقل معرفة العبد ربه ودينه ونبيه محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.
No. Muhammad is mansub here because it's badal, a substitute for nabiyya. You could just say Ma'rifatul abdi rabbahu wa dinahu wa Muhammadan sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You could just skip that nabiyyahu and say Muhammad. So it's mansub because it's the maf'ul bihi and it's a badal for nabi.
So, okay, but if you skip that, it wouldn't be Muhammadan, would it?
Yes.
It'll still be Muhammadan?
Yes. Because it's the only reason it's Muhammadan is because it's following this.
Okay.
So if you replace this, and this has to be mansub because it's the maf'ul bihi, this still has to be maf'ul bihi mansub. So ma'rifatul abd, the knowledge of the slave, rabbahu, of his Lord, wa dinahu, and his religion, and of Muhammad. You have to have knowledge of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
No.
Muharram. He's busy. Other than the class, we'll continue down below. Your microphone is off, that's why okay, there you are.
Afwan, salam alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Okay, where is it now? Okay. فإذا قيل لك ما الأصول الثلاثة التي يجب على الإنسان معرفتها فقل معرفة العبد ربه ودينه ونبيه محمدا صلى الله عليه وسلم.
Now we'll get to the actual questions of these usul al-thalatha. Al-asl al-awwal. Al-asl, as we said, is the plural or the singular of al-usul. Al-usul is plural, al-asl is singular. How would I say two principles?
Usulan.
Okay, if usul is the plural and asl is the singular, how would I say it?
Aslan.
Aslan, no, aslan. No. Usulan would be a dual of the plural. إِذَا قِيلَ لَكَ مَنْ رَبُّكَ. So if it's said to you, who is your Lord? مَنْ رَبُّكَ. فَإِذَا قِيلَ لَكَ. So if it is said to you, مَنْ رَبُّكَ. We don't have to spend time on this anymore. We already understand that. مَنْ رَبُّكَ. Who is your Lord? فَقُولْ. We don't have to spend time on this. We just did it. رَبِّيَ اللَّهِ. Rabbi, this fatha here is for reading purposes because there's a sukoon on Rabbi and there's a sukoon on this first lam here, so you can't have two sukoons together, so this fatha there is for reading purposes. Rabbi Allah, my Lord is Allah. Alladhi Rabbani, Alladhi, which or who? Rabbani. Rabbani, we'll read again, we'll read a little further before we translate it. Rabbani, he did this, Rabbani with me. Rabba Jamil Alameen Bini'mihi. Okay, we'll stop there so we can understand Rabba. Rabba, right, means, and here with the Aleph Maksur, you look it up, Rabba, but if you look this one up here, Rabba, here it means to nurture and to raise and to look after and to care for and to bring up and to raise. From it we have the word tarbiyah, tarbiyah, at-tasfiyah wa tarbiyah. Right, that's the, and this, from that we have the word Rabb. Right? Tarbiyah. The word Rabb itself means to look after and to look over something. When we talk about Allah being the Rabb, we say He is Al-Khaliq, Al-Malik, Al-Mudabbir. li jamil umur. Allah is the creator and the owner and the arranger or maintainer of all our affairs. So that means if someone, if you look at a parent, and of course we're not making examples with a lot, but they do tarbiyah and they do raise their children, they have this, then they, and we use that word for them as well. We say Ummi Rabbatul Bayt. Ummi, she's the Rabbatul Bayt. She's the Lord of the house. What does she do? She looks after the house. She makes sure it's clean. She makes sure everything's in order. The clothes are ready. The food is prepared. She takes care of it, looks after everything. And if something in the house missing, it's because she fell short. Assuming that's her role like that, right? So this person, if a teacher, we have Rabbani. We have the teacher who's Rabbani, right? Rabbani, meaning the one who looks after your religious affairs. He doesn't give you and start teaching you a Tadmuriyya in Aqidah, Al-Hamawiyya in Aqidah. He doesn't go into a Safariniyya in Aqidah before he went over Usul Thalatha with you. Because he's going to, that's not raising you properly. You don't give a child a steak when it just came out from the mother's womb. That'll kill the child. It's not able to eat that. So to be Rabbani is to give a person what they need when they need it. Right? To give them what they need when they need it as they need it. Now, when they become 2 years old, they might still want to drink the milk from the woman's breast. But no, we're cutting you off. It's time. You have to now eat regular food. Otherwise, you're never going to grow strong and healthy. So even though you don't want it mentally, you're ready for it. It's the same thing with a teacher. He's not going to give you what you're not ready for before you're ready for it. But when you're ready for it, he's going to give you what you need even if you don't want it. This is Rabbani. So Allah is going to put trials in your way, even though you may not be happy with that trial or the difficulty you're facing, but you need that trial. Right? That's what's going to make you stronger. Every trial builds your patience up. It builds your stamina up. It builds your ability to go through things. Allah is not going to destroy everything around you at one time. Rather, He's going to take this and take that. There's going to be little trials and it's going to make you stronger. This is Rabbani. He created you. He owns you. He manages all your affairs. So Rabbi Allah, my Lord is Allah, or my however you want to translate it. Rabb is going to be better because it's not just Lord like in the English translation of the Bible or something, right? Rabbi Allah, the one who created me, the one who owns me, the one who manages all my affairs and gives me what I need. Sometimes I make dua and He don't give it to me because that's not what I need, and sometimes I don't even make dua and He gives me all of that. Rabbi Allah. Alladhi Rabbani, the one who nurtured me, raised me, cultivated me, brought me up. Wa Rabba Jamil Alameen. And He did this same Rabba with Jamil Alameen, all of the worlds, all of creation. Al-Alameen is everything besides Allah. It's the plural of Alam. Alam. Not Alim with a kasra. No, but alam with a fatha, right? It means basically like a world, like the world of the jinn, the world of the angels, the world of human beings, the world of animals, the world like this, the world, like the species almost, right? Al-Alameen. So Jami al-Alameen, all of the worlds, all of the creation. Bi ni'amihi. Be with, ni'am is the plural of ni'mah. Ni'mah. Blessing, favor, however you want to translate that. Be ni'amihi, with His favors or blessings. Faqul Rabbi Allah, say my Lord is Allah, alladhi Rabbani, the one who cultivated me, nurtured me. Wa Rabba Jamil Alameen bi ni'amihi. And He nurtured and created and cared for all of the worlds, all of creation with His favors or blessings. وَهُوَ مَعْبُودِي. And he is ma'budi, the thing I worship. Ma'bud. Abd, slave. Ma'bud, the thing which is worshipped. Ma'bud. وَهُوَ ma'budi. And he's my object of worship. He's who I worship. But here, my object of worship. Laysa li. There is not for me. Laysa, as we said, is a negation. Laysa li. Li is for me. So there is not for me ma'budun, a ma'bud, an object of worship, siwahu. Siwa means besides, right? Besides. When we talk about something being yusawi or tusawi, we mean equal, right? Something yusawi or tusawi. هل يستوي الذين يعلمون والذين لا يعلمون? Are those who know equal to those who don't know? So yastawi, the same word. Are they equal? So here, besides, because if something is equal on a scale, then they're besides each other, right? They're next to each other. Siwahu, besides who? Laysa li ma'bud siwahu. There is not an object of worship for me besides him. وَالدَّلِيلُ قَوْلُهُ تَعَالَى, and the evidence is his statement, the Most High, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. All praise is due to Allah, or all praise belongs to Allah, Lillah. All praise is for Allah, Rabbil Alameen, the Lord of all the worlds. Right? This Rabb is majroor because it's following this lih. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdu li Rabbil Alameen. All praises for the Lord of the worlds. If I were to take this out, it's a badal or an attribute, right? Wa kullu ma siwa Allah, and everything which is besides Allah, alam, is a world or a creation, however you want to translate that. It's a world. It's this world from alameen that we were talking about. Wa kullu, and every ma siwa Allah, everything which is besides Allah, alam, is a world. Wa ana wahidun min dhalika al-alam, and I am one. Wa ana, and I, wahidun, am one, min dhalika al-alam, from that world. I am one from that world. Any questions? Muharram, ikra lana.
No.
I think you had a question.
Okay.
You got a question?
Yeah, but I can ask after I read it, inshallah, if you want.
Ask first. It's up to you. No problem.
Okay. I don't know if I missed, but did you mention why Warabba has the ya behind? Warabba.
No, it becomes form. It becomes form 2. It just takes a different form. It's form 2, Rabba. So yeah. When you have, for instance, and I use this a lot just because it's just easy and we're all familiar with it. Jalasa, to sit. That's form 1. 3. Then jalasa, you add that thing. So if you have Rabba already, right? So you already have your shadda there on the back because it's doubled. So now what do? Do you add another bat here? No, they just add a rabba. You understand? You already have the shadda on the bat that you would have here. So what do? They just add that to it. Yeah.
Okay, so can you say Warabba without the ya? Jami' al-alamin.
Rabba, no. Well, it would have a different meaning because Rabba, like this, means to be the master.
Okay.
You understand? So if we say he's the master or he owns, like, for instance, the one who owns the house is called, like, if an apartment building, he's called, or any house, Rabbul Bayt. the master of the house. So the root here, or the root here is Rabba, meaning to be the master or owner of something. Whereas Rabba has the meaning of not only to own it, but to cultivate it and to raise it and bring it up. You understand? So you add that extra meaning. So the Rabb already has this one, already has this like to be owner or master. Right?
Okay.
So now when I put this, now when I did this with Jalasa, I put my Shadda, but here I already have a Shadda here. So what am I going to do? I got to do something to make it a form. So what they do is they add that Alif Maksura. Just to make it different. Because the Shadda is already on that second form. Otherwise it would be like Rabbab, no. Go back. Rabbaba, like Rabbaba. And that's, you know, so they just add the Alif Maksura. That's just what they do.
Okay. And so you're gonna read it just like a little bit elongation, like Rabba, right?
Right. Rabbal, yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay. فإذا قيل لك من ربك فقل ربي الله الذي رباني وربى جميع العالمين بنعمه وهو معبودي ليس لي معبود سواه والدليل قوله تعالى الحمد لله رب العالمين وكل ما سوى الله عالم وأنا واحد من ذلك العالم.
Abdullah.
فقل ربي الله يا ربي الله الذي رباني ورب جميع العالمين بنعمه وهو معبودي ليس لي معبود سواه والدليل قوله تعالى الحمد لله رب العالمين وكل ما سوى الله عالمون وأنا واحد من ذلك العالم.
I don't know if Muharram did it, but you skipped this up there, فَإِذَا قِيلَ لَكَ, but no problem, inshallah.
Okay, فإذا قيل لك من ربك.
Muharram might have skipped it and you just followed his footsteps, no problem.
Oh, I think I read it.
Okay. I don't remember, I just know he didn't, so I was like, sure. فَإِذَا قِيلَ لَكَ بِمَا عَرَفْتَ رَبَّكَ فقل بآياته ومخلوقاته ومن آياته الليل والنهار والشمس والقمر. Okay, so he says, فَإِذَا قِيلَ لَكَ, we already did that, if it's said to you. And I want you to pay attention to this book, because this book is, we have up here, if you look up at the top where it says how many pages are in the book, it says 34 in this PDF that I have here, 34, right? If you were to actually print the book out in regular paper size, it would be way less than 34. It would be maybe, we'll say, half of that or less. So say 15 pages. I want you to pay it. Huh?
My name is 34.
I didn't hear, yours is what?
34.
In what, a regular size book?
Yeah, regular paper.
Yeah, because you printed it out, but the words are big. They're not, the letters are printed out big. They're not printed out regular print size. We're talking about in a regular size book, if it were to be in it, a regular book, it would be much less than 34 pages. Because this is a little pocket book. Now, if we have this, and I'm shrinking it down so you can see the size of the page, how many evidences do you think are in this book?
How many evidences? What you mean?
How many evidences, meaning something from the Quran and the Sunnah? How many times is the Quran and Sunnah in here versus that's a page right there. In English, or in a real book, twice that is going to be on a page. So we'll say we got, because 32 pages actually, because 2 pages is the cover in Makhtutat. So say 16 pages, we'll say. How many evidences are going to be in 16 pages? Muharram says 85%. It's a good.
In those pages, I'd probably say 50%.
50%. Well, I didn't ask for percentage, but that's fine. There are more than 70 ayat and hadith mentioned in this book. More than 70 places he mentions ayat and hadith inside 16 pages. This book, when you memorize this, you're going to be memorizing the Quran and the Sunnah as well. This book is not something that is just he's saying something, you know, and making up a principle or this or that. No, he is coming from the Quran and Sunnah completely. It's more than 70 evidences in this small treatise.
Yeah, like half of it is evidence, you know, cause
Yeah, or more.
when he say that, when he say whatever he says, he always bring some with everything. Yeah.
And sometimes 2, 3, right.
Yeah.
وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَكَ, so if it's said to you, بِمَا عَرَفْتَ رَبَّكَ. Bima is bi rasma. With what? But they shorten it to bima. Right? Bima arafta rabbak. You might find someone writing it bima. That's not a problem. Right? But here he wrote it bima. It can be written either way. Bima arafta rabbak. With what do you know arafta rabbak, your Lord? Like, how do you know your Lord? With what? What is it that you use to know your Lord? فَقُولْ, then say, بِآيَاتِهِ وَمَخْلُقَاتِهِ. With his ayat, with his signs. It does not mean ayat from the Quran here. It means with his signs, وَمَخْلُقَاتِهِ, and his creations from khalaqa, right? His creation. مَخْلُقَاتِهِ, his creations. So now he's going to go and explain to us what are the ayat and the creations. What's the difference here? وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ اللَّيْلُ وَالنَّهَارُ وَالشَّمْسُ وَالْقَمَرُ. And from his ayat, his signs, or the night and the day and the sun and the moon. Any questions about that? We'll read this before we go down. Question, Yasin? I don't hear him. Go ahead and read for us up to start out.
فإذا قيل لك بما عرفت ربك فقل بآياته ومخلوقاته ومن آياته الليل والنهار والشمس والقمر.
Now, Muharram.
Seems like it's still loading. Maybe somebody else can read until.
Yasin?
وإذا قيل لك بما عرفت ربك فقل بآياته ومخلوقاته ومن آياته الليل والنهار والشمس والقمر.
No. He went out, probably try to renew his internet. You back with us, Muharram?
Yeah.
It loaded?
فإذا yes. Okay. فإذا قيل لك بما عرفت ربك فقل بآياته ومخلوقاته ومن آياته الليل والنهار والشمس والقمر.
No. Okay. ومن مخلوقاته السماوات السبع ومن فيهن والأرضون السبع ومن فيهن وما بينهما. He says ومن مخلوقاته, and from his creation, السماوات السبع. السماوات is the plural of sama, meaning the heavens or the skies. السبع, the 7 skies or 7 heavens. وَمَنْ فِيهِنَّ. I don't really like to use the word heavens, even though that's how they usually translate it in the Quran, because when people think of heaven, they think of paradise or Jannah in English. Whereas these samawat are not the skies, or they're not heavens, like there are 7 paradises. Rather, this is the heavens, the layers before that, right? The skies before that. As-samawatu as-sab'a, the 7 skies or heavens. وَمَنْ فِيهِنَّ. It's not the layers, it's not the ozone layer and the this layer and the that. It does not mean that either, right? As-samawatu as-sab'a, because anyway, we'll get there in the explanations later on. وَمَنْ فِيهِنَّ, and whoever is in them. فِيهِنَّ, and whoever is in them, meaning in the skies, whoever is in the angels, the jinn, whatever Allah has created that we don't know. وَالْأَرَضُونَ السَّبْعَ. Al-Aradun is the plural of Ard. Arad, Aradun, Ard. And the 7 earths. Al-Aradun as-sab'a. وَمَنْ فِيهِنَّ. وَمَنْ فِيهِنَّ, and whoever is in them. وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا, and what is between them. So now, if we pay attention to him, he says وَمَنْ فِيهِنَّ. وَمَنْ فِيهِنَّ, then he says وَمَا. Because we're not just talking about human beings and angels and jinn, and we're talking about whatever else is there too. Because men is used for aqil, something which has intellect. And ma is used for ghayr aqil, which something which doesn't have intellect. Rocks, trees, right? Dogs, cats, animals, ghayr aqil. وَمَا فِيهِنَّ وَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا. So here he uses all of them. Sometimes Allah says in the Quran, men, and he means all of that. And he does so, and he uses men, including ma, in that, because if we were to talk about, for instance, we were to talk about a bunch of people over here, and they got their suitcases, and they got their rocking chairs, and they got whatever they got with them. We say, look at those people, and their stuff, and their stuff. If you want to look at everything, their suitcases, their chairs, their whatever, you say, look at those people, right? But you would say, look at their stuff in order to get them to look at the people. That would be like a disrespect towards the people. You don't. So the men, yashmilu, it includes the ma sometimes. But here the Shaykh was detailed, and he said, men fihinna wa ma baynahuma, to include everything. Who's in the skies and what's in the skies. Who's in the earth or on the earth, and what's on the earth, right? And here's a good proof of fi not meaning inside, but meaning on top. Because those things which are Men fihinna, those things which are in the earth. We don't mean inside the earth. We mean on the earth. Right? We're not, me and you, we're in the earth. We're not, but we don't mean feet as inside. We're stuck inside a ditch, in a grave. No, we mean on top of the earth. Right? وَالدَّلِيلُ قَوْلُهُ تَعَالَى. Let me scroll down a little bit. I can do so well. It's hard to scroll down a little bit. والدليل قوله تعالى ومن آياته الليل والنهار والشمس والقمر لا تسجدوا للشمس ولا للقمر واسجدوا لله الذي خلقهن إن كنتم إياه تعبدون. We had this ayat before inside Quad al-Arba. And the evidence is his statement, the Most High. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ, and from his signs, اللَّيْلُ وَالنَّهَارُ وَالشَّمْسُ وَالْقَمَرُ, the night and the day, and the sun and the moon. لَا تَسْجُدُوا, do not prostrate, لِشَمْسِ وَلَا لِلْقَمَرِ, to the sun nor to the moon. وَاسْجُدُوا لِلَّهِ, but prostrate to Allah. الَّذِي خَلَقَهُنَّ, the one who created them. In kuntum iyyahu ta'budun, if you to him alone you worship, if it is him alone that you are worshiping. Any questions so far?
لا.
وقوله تعالى إن ربكم الله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض في 6 أيام ثم استوى على العرش يغشي الليل النهار يطلبه حثيثا والشمس والقمر والنجوم مسخرات بأمره ألا له الخلق والأمر تبارك الله رب العالمين. And this statement, the Most High, Inna Rabbakumullah, verily your Lord is Allah. Rabbukum, your Lord, all of you together, your Lord is Allah. Alladhi khalaqa as-samawat wal-ard, the one who created the heavens and the earth. Fi sittati ayamin, in 6 days. ثم استوى على العرش, then he rose above the throne. Rose, istawa, is to rise above, and not to establish himself, as many people translate it, as these Asharis and other than them, right? Or to overtake it. Inside this new project, what is it? The Clear Quran. It comes out of the foundation, Quran Foundation in Chicago. They translate this in an Ashari manner. They translate it in an Ashari manner. So beware when they come try to do a fundraiser. The goal is nice, that they want to put Qurans in all the hotels and hospitals and places where people can get to them easily, but then they take a bad translation. ثم استوى على العرش, then he rose above the throne. Right? يغشي الليل النهار. يغشي, we had this word in al-Qira'at al-Rashida. غشا, يغش. غشا means to cheat. What do? You cover up the fact that you don't know. You cover up, you cheat. يغشي الليل النهار. Here it means he covers the day with the night. He covers the night, he covers the day with the night. يغشي الليل النهار. Both of these are maf'ulun bihi here, so it's hard to maybe understand. يغشي الليل, he covers the night and nahara, with the day, like this. يطلبه, right? يطلبه الليل, chases after it, meaning the night. حثيثا, حثيثا is swiftly. حث, حث يحث. حث means to encourage someone, to motivate them, right? Hafithan here means swiftly, like you go do it, get up and do it. Don't hesitate, don't procrastinate. Hafithan here means this is encouragement. When you hatha, yahuthu somebody, hafithan here means it follows it swiftly. والشمس والقمر والنجوم مسخرات من أو بأمري, مسخرات بأمري, the sun and the moon and the stars, the plural of najm, star, nujum, stars. مسخرات بأمره. مسخرات comes from the word sakhara, right? Sakhara means, if anyone has memorized the dua of rukub, which we all should have memorized because we are all riding cars and stuff, we all get on bicycles, we all get on elevators and escalators, and this is something we should be saying when we get on any of these things, skateboards, roller skates, anything which takes you from one place to another. It's not just cars, not just your horse, it's the elevator which takes you up floors, the escalator which takes you floors, the bicycle which you ride. All of that we should be saying the dua of rukub, the dua for riding something that is transporting us from one place to another. So sakhara lana hada, right? It says inside there, sakhara lana hada. You subjected this to us. Basically, sakhara is like you subjected this to us, to our use. You made this available for us to use. Allah sakhara ma fis samawati wal ard lil ins. Allah created and He subjected everything in the heavens and the earth to the use of human beings. Those people say, why are you killing the goat? Because Allah created it for us to kill it and eat it. Sakhara. And it means to like subject it. Right? In the Quran it says subjugated. Right? Subjugated. Meaning to make it at our disposal. الشمس والقمر والنجوم مسخرات بأمره. They are subjugated to His command. They do whatever amrihi, His command, whatever He says. The sun does what He says. The moon, the stars, they do what He says. They're at His command. Allah lahu khalqu wal amr. Let's skip this part for a second. This Allah, and say lahu al khalq wal amr. To Him or for Him or belongs to Him the creation and the command. Al-Khalq wal-Amr. The creation and the command. So Allah is a question and La is a negation. Let's skip the question for a minute. La lahu al-Khalq wal-Amr. There is not for Him the creation and the command. Now let's ask a question. Is there not for Him the creation and the command? Tabarakallahu Rabbul Alameen. Blessed is Allah, the Lord of all creation. Right? Is there any questions about this paragraph?
Now when you're saying musakharat,
No.
that's like subjugated.
It's a noun. It means things which are like basically subdued and under the control and must listen to His command. Subjugated. There are things which are subjugated to His command.
Subjugated.
This ayat is in Surah Ali Imran, ayat number 50, Surah Surah Al-A'raf, ayat 54. Not Ali Imran. Surah 7, Al-A'raf, ayat 54.
Was subjected to his command.
Yeah, subjugated. Here in Noble Quran it says subjugated, but it means
Okay.
sakhara means, for instance, you say this dua, and if Allah had not sakhara lana hada, if you had not subjugated this car to us, meaning if you didn't make us have the ability to control it, if you didn't give this horse if you didn't give us the ability to train this horse and make it listen to us, we would not be able to ride it to get where we're going. Right? So, like, you didn't make it submissive and under our command and control. Musakharat would be things which are under our command and control and subjugated to us and do what we want. But here is subjugated to His will. The sun and the moon, they're created for us. The light at night, the heat in the daytime, the ability to work and sleep, all of that was for us, but they are subjugated to His command. Right? We don't control them. They're for us. They're for us, but He controls them. Bi amrihi. Got it? يلا ياسين اقرأ لنا من بداية الصفحة. من بداية الصفحة. ها؟
ومن خلوقاته السماوات سبع ومن فيهن والأرضون سبع ومن فيه وما بينهما والدليل قوله تعالى آياته الليل والنهار والشمس والقمر لا تسجدوا للشمس ولا للقمر واسجدوا لله وقوله تعالى إن ربكم الله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض في 6 أيام ثم استوى على العرش يغشي الليل النهار يطلبه حثيثا والشمس والقمر والنجوم مسخرات بالأمر ألا له الخلق والأمر تبارك الله رب العالمين.
جزاكم الله خيرا يا محرم.
ومن مخلوقاته السماوات السبع ومن فيهن والأراضون السبع ومن فيهن وما بينهما والدليل قوله تعالى ومن آياته الليل والنهار والشمس والقمر لا تسجدوا للشمس ولا للقمر واسجدوا لله الذي خلقهن إن كنتم إياه تعبدون. وقوله تعالى إن ربكم الله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض في 6 أيام ثم استوى على العرش يغشي الليل النهار يطلبه حثيثا والشمس والقمر والنجوم مسخرات بأمره ألا له الخلق والأمر تبارك الله رب العالمين.
بارك الله فيك عبد الله.
ومن مخلوقاته السماوات السبع ومن فيهن والأراضون السبع ومن فيهن وما بينهما والدليل قوله تعالى ومن آياته الليل والنهار والشمس والقمر لا تسجدوا للشمس ولا للقمر واسجدوا بالله الذي خلقهن إن كنتم إياه تعبدون وقوله تعالى إن ربكم الله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض في 6 أيام ثم استوى على العرش يغشي الليل النهار يطلبه حثيثا والشمس والقمر والنجوم مسخرة بأمري ألا له الخلق والأمر تبارك الله رب العالمين. I had a question before you get through here.
Go ahead.
Yukshi. I heard you was pronouncing the Yugashi.
Yugashi. I just pronounced the Yugashi. It's
Okay,
Ava,
Yugashi.
divine.
Okay, Yukshi. All right.
Yugashi. Okay, inshallah. I mean, we're almost done with this first principle. I mean, you know, we're like a third way through the book almost. So, alhamdulillah. We'll meet tomorrow again, inshallah ta'ala, with it. If there's any questions in the meantime, just send them to me, inshallah ta'ala, and I'll try to prepare them. But other than that, barakallahu feekum.
Barakallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.